Welcome, and we're going to be watching the most wanted drivers in New York. Now, I'm a New Yorker myself, but I have no idea who these supposed most wanted drivers are. I assume they're bozos, but beyond that, I really got no clue. Now, this is going to be from Tommy G, who is a great YouTuber. Honestly, he just seems like a great guy in general, so I don't think he's going to be glorifying these clowns. And you know what? Maybe they're not clowns. Maybe I'm hating for no reason. Let's find out.
Okay, easy, Tiger. Easy. Come on. Hey. How many police chases do you think you've been in?
30, I think.
Damn.
On a scale.
So New York actually recently, I want to say last year, kind of took the leash off of their officers, so to speak. So now you can chase criminals more freely if you are in the NYPD. For those of you who don't know, a lot of places do this. Like if a criminal's really running from the cops, sometimes they just let them go because it's like an endangerment to everyone around to continue the chase. But in New York, recently, they were given the green light, the go-ahead to go chase him, try to catch him.
Of 1 to 10, how wanted would you say you are?
Probably a 10. Nobody's more wanted than me.
Osama bin Laden? No, sir. This dude.
I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted. Hello, folks. I'm Tommy G. I'm here with the most wanted drivers in New York.
Hey, I'm Street Bud.
All right, well, going off the intro, I do think they're clowns. I don't think they're gonna come out of this being the good guys, but we'll see.
Swim team, you already know what's going
Swim
on.
team.
Love NYPD. Swim team, the dream team.
So buckle up, folks.
Are they called the swim team because they're gonna inevitably go over a guardrail into the ocean and then inevitably drown? I mean, that's like the best scenario, and I'm not praying on their death, on their downfall. But if they were to crash, I would prefer them to, go over a guardrail into the water. That's better, because they're the only ones who get harmed in that scenario. Most other scenarios, when you have degenerate street racers like this, is, there's going to be a dead mom, a dead child, etc., etc. And honestly, this kind of hits a little bit close to home, believe it or not. My dad was actually in a very bad car accident due to some scumbag street racers. So you're definitely not going to hear me singing the praises of them, telling them they're super cool. Not for me.
This is going to be a wild ride.
One day in the safety of my home in Milwaukee, I started to get bombarded by DMs imploring me to explore these two drivers named Squeeze Benz and Where's 981. When I looked at their pages, their driving shocked me. I would describe their videos as daring, dangerous, and reckless. I'm fascinated by the human desire to push limits and go against the grain. I'm fascinated by the daredevils and outlaws of the world. Young men in particular love to do this in a variety of ways. Evel Knievel shot himself out of a cannon, Philip Petit tightrope walked across the Twin Towers, Alex Honnold climbed up cliffs without a rope, and fighter Darren Till cut weight until he went
Damn.
blind.
A Darren Till shout out? Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said, true. And it is very interesting, which is why I like Tommy's channel. But see, the difference between everyone he just named and these guys is they are only harming themselves if it goes wrong. You know what I mean?
The question that comes to mind when you look at this behavior is what compels someone to push themselves to such lengths and risk injury or death. In today's video, we investigate this daredevil behavior in the form of reckless drivers who are causing outrage and fascination across New York.
Police tried to pull over a car on West 38th Street and 7th Avenue. The driver sped off, slamming into cars, driving on the sidewalk, and even hitting a dining shed.
But there's a twist in the story, because these guys don't just risk their own necks in the stunts, they also risk the lives of innocent pedestrians and the law enforcement that chases them.
Yep.
These guys regularly go on police chases and evade police helicopters. Today, we interview them face to face and talk morality, ethics, danger, and their motivation for their behavior. Let's dive in.
All right, let's see if they know they're terrible people and they're just like sociopaths. Let's see what's up.
Go boots on the ground. This documentary is purely for educational purposes. We want to stress that the behavior depicted in this video is dangerous, illegal, and should never be imitated. And remember, it only takes one bad crash to ruin your life or someone else's.
Yep.
Please drive responsibly. Thank you.
Stay safe, kiddos and adults.
2 with the F87. Table for 2 of my carbone in my section.
We wanted to know how everyday people felt about this kind of driving. We had some extra time to kill at the New York airport, so I went around showing people videos of
I wonder if people are going to know these dudes. Like, I don't know if I'm just out of the loop, but I've never heard of them. I don't doubt that they're famous, though. I mean, Aiden Ross was just reacting to him.
Benz and Where's 981 driving. Here's what they had to say about it.
That's crazy, dude.
What do you think of that?
It's just dangerous. I think if the police go after them, it's a bit dangerous. Was everyone else at risk?
He's probably going 120, 130 right now. See how there's some close calls?
Dude, watching this, like, there's no doubt he's skilled, but like a cop could not do what he's doing. Like, they're just not skilled enough. And also, they wouldn't risk it. Like, they will sideswipe someone and cause a massive accident if they chase.
He thinks he's in a video game.
True, it legit looks like Forza. It really does. Forza Horizon.
Stuff pisses me off. So I got kids that are on those roads too. When that guy hits one of my kids, he'll say, I don't know what happened.
I could tell this guy a million times, hey, you're gonna kill somebody on the road. He's gonna do it anyways. What do you think about that?
It makes me
Brain damage? I think it's brain damage, Tommy.
mad. I get it. All kids, they're bred to do that, right? But it's irresponsible.
Are they bred to do that? I don't think so. I know, like, kids are stupid, but I don't think kids are that stupid. A decent chunk, sure. But I wouldn't say all kids are bred to do that. Not even most, if I'm being real with you. I think most would be too terrified to do something like that to start. And then a decent chunk would have good enough morals to know, hey, you're putting very innocent people at risk by doing this.
I told you that this guy's gotten away from not only multiple police, but also helicopters.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, running from the helicopters.
What's your reaction on that?
I believe it. I just feel like it's really selfish. I feel like he should get his license taken away for some period of time.
I mean, even if he doesn't have a license, it doesn't matter. They're still going to drive. I'm pretty sure that, honestly, they might not even have their license with all, like, the crimes they're committing. So they just run. They don't get caught, apparently.
Probably have to go through safe driving classes, maybe talk to people who are
That's
victims
not gonna help.
of people
I
that
think it
drive
should be
like him.
commensurate with like attempted manslaughter or something.
True.
Like, I mean,
Actually.
that's in effect.
Yeah.
You're putting people at risk intentionally when you go a certain speed over the speed limit.
If you were his mother or father, what would you tell him?
That he's a selfish idiot. One of these days, somebody is gonna get in his way.
Like, this son's so done with this. He's like, I hate it here.
And
Make it
that
stop.
person's gonna end up dead, or many people are gonna end up dead. And if he ends up dead, that's his consequence for what he does. But nobody else deserves to have that kind of risk. It's no different than someone who's really drunk getting behind the wheel of a car and driving.
Honestly, hear me out. Don't twist my words when I say this, but I feel like it's almost worse than drunk driving, because if someone gets into their car while drunk, they're an idiot, and I hate them. Don't get me wrong. But you could attempt to say they were under the influence, their mind wasn't right, they weren't thinking straight. That's a terrible excuse, but it could be an excuse. These dudes, their mind's 100% right. They know what they're doing, and they're still choosing to do this.
I mean, when they have no control, I mean, your car is actually like a weapon of mass destruction. It has to be handled with care.
Worse than being drunk and getting behind the wheel, because you're actively making the choice to...
So true, sister. Thank you for saying what I just said. Now the comments will bully me less. Let's go.
put other people's lives at risk.
The steepest price that gets paid is not the person driving the car. I mean, someone's going to end up dying, and that'll be that.
That can ruin hundreds of people's lives. Like, if a kid in a school were to die, everybody in the school
It's a
would be
ripple
mourning
effect.
for that one person.
Oh yeah, he's tripping. Not safe at all.
If he hits somebody, do you think it should be manslaughter or first degree?
I say manslaughter because you know what you're doing. Like, you're just driving crazy.
What would you tell him if you could say something to him?
I'd be like, slow down.
What do you think about driving like this?
Oh, it's terrible. I don't like it.
Like, you better stay away from that.
Yeah.
What should be the penalty if he's caught? Manslaughter or first degree? That's some of the debate.
If he hits somebody, you mean if he kills somebody? It's vehicular manslaughter.
This guy has an...
It is vehicular manslaughter, but should it be first degree murder? Like, I want to say yes, because I am a hater, and I want them behind bars for as long as possible for being an endangerment to society, and I do not romanticize or think driving fast and dangerous is cool in any capacity. So I kind of want them just locked up for repeatedly doing this, but it would never be actual first degree murder. It will always be manslaughter. So I don't really think there's a point in debating it per se, but gun to my head, you told me to hit them with something, I would hit them with first degree murder. But I am a hater. I dislike them very much. I think the world would be better off with them behind bars for very long.
The ability to get away from multiple police vehicles and including helicopters.
Right.
So he hasn't been caught. Yesterday, he got away from a helicopter.
Where, in New York or California?
New York.
Wow. What kind of car is he renting?
Lamborghini.
I could see I was out running the comps.
No, it is like insane that they're able to get away in New York so much because it's like really congested traffic. You saw them like dipping through lanes over and over and over, getting through. It's crazy. Like most of the famous car chases are in California for a reason, you know, long stretches of highways, not much congestion unless you're in like LA and whatnot. So it is crazy that they get away. I am looking forward to seeing how exactly they're evading the helicopters and whatnot. Like, is it a matter of the NYPD is like, okay, he's going too fast, let's just leave? I don't know. I wonder.
I could hope for him hitting a telephone pole. Turn yourself in, brother. You're a reckless driver and you're going to hurt innocent people.
True.
I got folks taking pics, something like paparazzi. I'ma go and get the test, I don't really like the mods. Really getting to the check, but I ain't rocking no harass.
We're on our way to meet Squeeze Benz. Recently, he's been making the news for his high-speed stunts. While some people see his driving as exhilarating or exciting, there's a rising sentiment that this sort of behavior unnecessarily endangers innocent drivers and pedestrians. He sent us the address of a random parking garage and told us to pull up. This is what we encountered.
Folks, we're on the way to talk to one of the most wanted drivers in New York, Squeeze Benz. This kid does stuff that makes my butthole pucker up. Pause. This guy is reckless. This guy is extreme. This guy drives at a very high speed. I do not drive like this. You shouldn't drive like this. And there's a reason why I'm not getting into their cars while they're driving this fast. It's dangerous.
See, good guy Tommy.
It's reckless. It's scary. Disclaimer, don't do this at home. He's kind of like a high-speed fugitive. I'm always interested in the outlaws of the world. People that live on the edge. Humans, especially men, are always pushing the limits of danger. But one distinction I want to make is Evel Knievel only harms himself if he fails.
Oh, see, yeah, that's what I said in the beginning.
UFC fighters are both signing up. They're in mutual combat. But these guys, if something goes wrong, they harm innocent civilians. So I want to ask him about that, but then ask him about the outlaw, the testing danger piece that lives strongly within them, because I think that's interesting.
Yeah, though I am hating on these guys, make no mistake about it, I am intrigued by them. I do want to hear what they're thinking, how their brain works, why they're doing this.
This is not a product placement. I do not want a partnership with Celsius. I do not drink your drinks every single trip multiple times a day. I don't absolutely love your drink. Guys, if you want to hit me up, please do. I would love to talk to you. Otherwise, I'll probably hit up Prime, and you know how that goes. So we're pulling up to meet Squeeze Benz. I'm excited. I hope you are too. You know, high speed must be an issue around here if they have a Mustang NYPD car that's got some zip to it. RIP Mainstream Media. It's been a great run. Kudos to you for lasting as long as you have. But that's it. I mean, you're finished. Sorry. In honor of that, RIP Mainstream Media. Sweatshirts available. TommyGMcGee.com. Oh my god, dude. What the f is this, Batman, dude?
This is like surprisingly empty too. I wonder how much money these dudes have. I assume they would like get their money off of IG reels. Do you get money off Instagram, TikTok, etc.? Because like, how are they affording the cars, right?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how wanted would you say you are?
Probably a 10. Nobody's more wanted than me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It started like about a year ago. I got my first Benz, and I always did like little driving videos, and I never really took it to nothing. And then my boy started saying like, you know, mad people are blowing up off this, and I was just like, you know, that's just how it started.
I'm curious, like you have a Lamborghini, at one point a Mercedes-Benz. I'm sure you go through a lot of different cars. Are you going on tour and just driving people's cars all crazy? You guys getting your own cars? Like, tell me about that.
I had my own car for a bit, but then I changed it up because I did get chased a lot. So I just realized, like, you know, doing long-term rentals is just a way better route. And then obviously I don't tell these guys I'm Squeeze Benz.
Did you ever get blown up by the tour people asking what the hell happened?
They do ask, and then like I kind of just like, you know, just driving the car, you know what I mean?
You mix danger, but there's also other people at risk when you do that. Innocent civilians.
Let's
so what do you
see.
think about the element of danger for that?
I've been doing this since like real shit since I was 9. I used to take my dad's car out and I used to just lug out. I've been doing this for so long now that I feel like I did have some professional at it. Like, you know, niggas know like that's how I drive. There's been incidents where I've gone out with people and they tried keeping up with me and they've crashed.
How fast do you
Oh
go?
my god. Could you imagine being this much of an imbecile? He thinks he's bulletproof. He thinks he's safe. He doesn't even realize that him like bringing people along to go on like these joyrides, what do you even call them, with them and ending up with them like crashing. He does not realize that he is in part responsible for this. He's a sociopath. He shouldn't be here. Honestly. The world would be better without him on it. And once again, I'm not wishing upon his death. I would love for him to change. But if his death were to happen, like I said, hopefully, you know, swim team, hit a guardrail, go hang with the fishes. No one else.
There's been a video on live where I've gone one-handed 210 miles an hour.
Filming with one hand, driving with the other, 210 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's insane. Did that scare
Seems
you?
legit.
Not really, just to build up a tolerance of just speed.
Do you feel like the police watch your Instagram?
Over under on this dude's life. How many more years do you think he has left? Let me know in the comments below. Not Tommy, the other guy.
100%, they do.
Let's pop in the car and keep the conversation going. Okay. How many people normally out compared to like, am I in the high end of
Not even the high end.
That's okay. Does your mom worry about you?
Of course, I call her, she don't even want to hear the things that I'm doing. She be getting scared because she know I be doing shit, like, you know what I mean?
Do you know any friends that have gotten really hurt or died doing this?
My boy, he was racing and he macked up and he hit his head and his head like split open a little bit. He needed stitches, but like other than that, nothing's ever happened.
So the other people that you just said crashed while trying to keep up with you, they're fine? All good? Airbags, man. Seatbelts. Think they wear seatbelts? They must, right? Surely they do. That's the one law they follow.
Tell me about the camera
Yeah,
system
he's
in
got
New
it.
York.
I wonder if Tommy forced him to. I don't know. Actually, when you're like going extremely high speeds, isn't it good to like kind of be locked in? I know like F1 drivers, I think, can like barely move when they're in there.
How hard is it to evade capture or awareness of the police?
Super easy. A lot of people like they be doing crimes with their plates on. Like I mean, if I go and run from a cops, I'm gonna make sure I either have altered plates or no plates at all.
New York City is home to one of the most advanced camera surveillance networks on the planet. An Amnesty International project identified that there are more than
That's kind of interesting. I mean, it makes sense, clearly. At least the altered plates, because if they see you with no plates, like they will pull you over. Even if you don't have front plates and you have back plates, they'll still pull you over for that.
25,000 public and private cameras at traffic intersections across the city. This camera technology can capture faces and other details from up to 400 feet away. This infrastructure isn't cheap either. This camera technology, combined with cell phone tracking tools, spyware, and facial recognition, racked up nearly $3 billion in expenditures from the NYPD from 2007 to 2019. When street racers run rampant in the city, it's easy for governments to make the argument to increase the surveillance in order to shut down this reckless and deadly behavior. However, this same technology can also be used to capture the profiles of millions of civilians on a daily basis, something that is currently happening in China and that many Americans are afraid of. As technology such as AI facial recognition and high-def cameras increase in quality, this is a challenge we are going to have to wrestle with to ensure the very tech that can help keep us safe also doesn't grow too powerful to infringe upon our freedoms.
What are the different penalties for if you got caught doing what we were doing?
Jail time. I'm running red lights. I'm doing more than triple the speed limit, double the speed limit. This is a lot of tickets to it.
You did a video in Times Square recently, right?
Yeah.
I send it back for all my insecurities.
Oh, I wonder if they really popped off during COVID. Because like driving through Times Square at like 200 miles per hour when there's no one on the road, that would probably do pretty good numbers on TikTok or whatever.
Maybe like some work will probably clean up back. Maybe Mickey Thompson's line locked when he slide.
Whoa.
It only takes one mistake to permanently change or destroy somebody's life.
I do understand that. It's just like, we were also like, it was a lot of people. 12 o'clock in the morning, you seen in the video, like I stopped, looked around, made sure there was nobody and started doing donuts. And then when I was running the red lights, I'm not gonna lie, I was low-key bugging. I low-key know how to run red lights. I've been chased by Mac cops to the point where I could blow the red lights doing 60, 70. No, I'm not gonna get my part.
That's not how it works, dude. Like you can't, no one knows how to blow red lights. Like if there's a car passing their green light while you're passing your red light at a certain speed, you're gonna hit each other, dude. What are you talking about? I'm sure if you put me in a car, I can run a couple red lights too. Eventually, I will also get hit. And you will as well. What is wrong with this guy? Why am I even trying to reason with stupidity? That's the real question. You know how that's it. You're just like, nod, okay, yep, nod, yep. We gotta be like Tommy, just, yep, okay, gotcha.
What is your strategy in getting away from police?
Hopping on the highway. These cops, like, they're not really built for that. It's a lot of real rookie cops now. A bunch of rookie cops, and these guys do not know how to drive on the highway.
Let's talk about how drivers like Ben's can evade detection for so long. They do so by altering or covering up their license plate so the car cannot be tracked by police or the traffic cameras. Cars with this modification have been nicknamed ghost cars. Last month, a joint task force was launched between New York Governors Kathy Hochul, New York Mayor Eric Adams, the NYPD, and the MTA to crack down on the the issue of ghost cars. In their first day alone, they impounded 73 cars, issued 282 court summons, and made...
Sorry about that. My phone died, so I wasn't tracking. Hopefully that wasn't going on for too long, but back to the video.
8 arrests. And I noticed the same thing back home in Milwaukee. The guys running through the red lights, driving the stolen cars, and driving aggressively, most of them do not have license plates.
What's the longest police chase you've been in?
30 minutes, 20 minutes.
That's a pretty long chase.
That is pretty long.
How many guys do you think were chasing you at one
I had
time?
to do like 3, 4, but the main thing was the helicopter. That was really hard to get away from. I'd get you get away. Luckily it was late night. I was in the Porsche and that shit does 210 miles an hour. So I just hopped on the highway, you know what I mean? The helicopter can only go so fast.
You go faster than the helicopter?
Yeah, they only like jump out like 150, 140.
You crash into somebody, they get paralyzed,
That is pretty crazy, honestly.
they die. Do you think you deserve to go to prison?
Yes. Obviously I wouldn't want to be put into prison for life. If I kill somebody, that's somebody's life. Like, that's somebody's mother, brother, cousin, whatever the case is. If somebody crashed into my mom in her car and they killed her, I'd want them to go to jail. You know what I mean? Maybe not for life, but just enough to get it in their head. Like,
Nah, if someone killed my mom by crashing into them, death for life. Honestly, death penalty them, with all due respect. I'd be okay with that. Whichever makes them suffer more. You know, if they want to go to prison for life, then hit them with the death penalty. If they want the death penalty, then make them go to prison for life. That's my philosophy. But at least he's somewhat aware. But you kind of need to answer that way. Imagine saying no. You'd lose like most good publicity, I guess you have, or at least fans. This dude def has fans. I looked at the comments real quick. There's people loving them. Of course there's people hating them as well, but you know.
What makes taking these risks worth it for you?
They're not really risks to me, that's the thing. I don't really see them as risk. I see them as like, you know, me just everyday driving.
Yeah, legitimate brain damage. If you don't see what he's doing as a risk, your brain is altered. Adrenaline junkies, etc., those dudes who like climb on buildings, you know the guys I'm talking about. You see the videos of them falling every now and then. It's similar. Like, can we hate him because he was born that way? Kinda, a little bit. I wish he was just climbing buildings and jumping. Like, far lower chance of hurting somebody. Sure, you could fall on them, but that's still way lower than what he's doing.
You say you've been driving since you were 9 years old?
My dad used to give me his car. You know, I used to sit on his car when I was like...
No shot. You're telling me his dad used to give him the car when he was 9? You know what? Maybe he wasn't born this way. I didn't think someone could be like raised to be a sociopathic adrenaline junkie. But if his dad's giving him the car at 9, maybe. Maybe I'd feel bulletproof too if I was like speeding since 9 and was never in a bad accident. Maybe I'd feel that way as well.
7 used to give me the steering wheel, that, and then, you know, I hit 9, they used to send me, yo, go to AutoZone real quick. I used to go to AutoZone, Home Depot.
What?
Cases. 13, I used to start picking up my boys. And
Dude, has this guy lived in New York his whole life? I cannot picture this flying whatsoever. Like, there's no way this is real. That's insane.
That's when I started really, like, you know, cutting up.
Oh my motherfucker. Okay, easy, Tiger. Easy.
It's like, this is crazy.
Hey. No more. Ooh, that motherfucking made me...
Imagine me doing that.
At 100?
Yeah, that's really nothing.
How many police chases do you think you've been in?
More than my hand. There's been so many times where like the boys just get behind us and they start chasing. Or like it's not really chases to us. You know, they back off.
Do you think you're...
Yeah, like that makes sense. Did you see what he was just doing? Like most cops are not comfortable doing that. And like rightfully so.
Just want to drive in New York?
Between me and Where's 981, like Where's 981 low-key died down, I feel like I've taken over that.
Damn, he said he fell off? That dude's in the comments too. I saw him. Like, see right here. So we'll see what he has to say.
I'm sure there are a lot of young men that watch your content. What do you think about kids that want to go try and replicate this, copy this?
From Squeeze Benz himself, do not come try this.
This is something that you can get paralyzed, you could die. I don't drive like this, you shouldn't. Some people in this game take lots of risks, and Squeeze is one of those guys, but highly advise never do this. How sophisticated is the camera system in New York?
It's getting more sophisticated now to where, like, you know, it'll take them probably 2-3 days to really find where he was at, you know what I mean?
I wonder if he always has like a mask on and glasses when he's driving to, like, I don't know, prevent the cameras from seeing him, I guess.
Dash your vehicle so that the police don't trace you to your house.
I pay for a garage. I have other parking garages where I park my car.
So just like a drug dealer has trap houses, you have different...
I have trap houses, yeah.
We go. Are you nervous at all?
I'm fucking nervous.
The boys are right here.
Oh God.
But how do you know he was about to get out of his vehicle? You were just about to smash him as he opened up his door.
I would have told nah, chill.
See, he had to stop it with the not chill. I think he genuinely does think sucks for him. I don't think he actually thinks not chill. SMH.
How do you think this is something that young men gravitate towards?
Adrenaline.
Let's talk about brain development in young men.
Here we
the
go.
male brain does not fully mature until about 25, so their prefrontal cortex that assesses risk is not fully developed.
I mean, yeah, imagine like being trained from 9 years old to like drive illegally. Makes sense.
Which helps to explain the risky behavior we see in this segment of the population. There's a name for this, young male syndrome. This sometimes short-sighted behavior is hypothesized to have provided an evolutionary advantage. A 2001 University of Liverpool study found that females prefer brave males who take risks to the ones that do not. And if we go back thousands of years to being hunter-gatherers on the savannah, this preference makes sense, as a female would want the male that fends off the lion or stands to fight when another rival tribe approaches. Biologically, not...
To the ladies in the comment section, do you want to date a degenerate gambling male? Because let me tell you, sports betting, I'll bet my life savings right now. I'm kidding, I won't do that. Don't do that. Behave. Don't bet on sports or anything unless you wanna. Bet responsibly. Not sponsored, but I had to use this. It's a cool expression, you know.
much has changed in our brains then, but our technology has progressed much further, and it helps to explain why you see young men doing high-speed chases and drifting through Times Square.
What's the craziest getaway story you have?
That'd be the one with the helicopter. I pulled up on the helicopter showing the charge. He was about to pull someone over, so I got behind him. I started playing with him, and I was recording. I got away, obviously. A week later, I started getting chased by 2-3 black Chargers. I'm looking up, and I see the helicopter above me, and I'm like, oh no. It was only like my second ever helicopter chase, so my heart was bumping. I'm not knowing how hard these guys are gonna go for me right now. They're gonna set a roadblock up, something, you know what I mean? But thank God that wasn't the case.
Like a spike strip.
That's never happened to me. I don't need to give these niggas advice, but like, I don't know why they don't use spike strips.
Is it hard for you not to be going fast right now?
Honestly, yeah. If New York really wanted to step their game up, they should put a place where people can do this and have fun in a safe environment. If you give us a spot, we're gonna use it.
Brother, do you know how crowded and congested New York is already? Do you know? What you should do is go somewhere that has what you want instead of, you know, just doing it on the public roads dangerously.
You see yourself doing this for?
It's not gonna be a forever thing. Eventually it's gonna turn into a brand.
How often do you drive reckless?
It's every day, but to a limit.
Let's talk about reckless driving in the United States. In 2021, there were 6 million car crashes and 39,500 of them were fatal. A survey by the insurance company Nationwide found that 47% of Gen Z reported driving faster than the speed limit, and 34% of them reported video chatting while driving.
Silly Zoomers, man. I mean, it's in their name. They Zoom.
This helped contribute to car crashes being the leading cause of death for American teenagers. Another concerning fact is the amount of pedestrians killed by reckless driving. In 2022, there were 7,500 deaths in this manner. In New York, vehicular manslaughter is a felony that carries a steep sentence of up to 15 years.
We took 2 Polaroids, they're fresh off.
Should be more.
Off the press, still developing. We're gonna put them in 2 random people that buy merch in the next 48 hours. 2 people will get Squeeze Ben's, Tommy G, Polaroid photos. RIP mainstream media.
This is so interesting to me. Polaroids like that. I'm used to Polaroids being big in like idol culture, like K-pop. If you're a K-pop fan, you really want a Polaroid of your favorite K-pop boy or girl. I wouldn't expect Tommy G fans to want a Polaroid of him and that criminal guy over there. It's funny though.
Dogs gotta eat. Hope to send this to you.
Available on Patreon only are the wild and extended cut versions of the interviews with Squeeze Benz, including one.
I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna attempt to snitch. I'm gonna narc. I'm a rat. I'm gonna rat on this guy. They give me the Polaroid. I'm walking straight to the NYPD. I'm like, this is the man. Go get him. Handshake.
Right after he got finished with a helicopter chase, extended cut interview with swim team, and more. This is some good shit. Patreon.
So cinematic. I'll put my hat on for this.
We find ourselves in another parking garage meeting with New York driver Where's 981.
All right, here he is. Honestly, hold up. Did you see that profile picture? A cat with a croc on his head? That's pretty good. All right, I already like this guy more. We'll see if I end up hating him more by the end of this, but this is putting in some heavy work. This is carrying.
and his crew, the swim team. Swimming refers to the driving technique where they cut up, weaving in and out of traffic to get where they want to go. They've gained a lot of notoriety online, and I wanted to talk to them to learn more about them.
The faster you go and the more dangerous you drive, the more views you get.
That really does look like a game. Like, graphically, that looks like a game.
All right, guys, we're pulling up to meet the swim team. You're one of the groups of the drivers. Why do you guys call yourself swim team?
This is how it started, like...
Don't worry, I'm not going to repeat my joke from the beginning.
Call me float. Used to be called float apostle. So like, I guess it's like a teacher. I would teach you how to float, and then it just turned into like, you know, we started cutting up and stuff. It was almost like we were swimming through traffic, and they'll call me like Michael Phelps. So we're swimming.
How fast do you go sometimes?
I'm hitting 150 every day. It's easy to hit 150, bro. Like it's triple digits no matter what. Your 50, 60 miles an hour is my 100.
Have you had any near misses?
Yeah, of course. People come to me like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm not going to try and teach you how to do it because of the simple fact that someone...
Didn't he just open with, I can teach you how to float? And now he's saying, people come up to me and I'm not going to teach you? Brother, what?
Can get hurt. Thank you that I have not hurt anybody. It's like shooting a gun in an open field. Like, anybody can get hit with a straight bullet.
If you hit somebody and they get really injured or die, what should be the punishment you think?
I'm going to jail 1,000%.
Yeah, it's worth it. Why?
It's not worth it. That's the thing. I can't justify it, you know?
What's it like being in a high-speed chase?
Your first time, it feels crazy, bro. It's like you're like you're scared to go home some way, somehow. You make it home. You have a little bit of a tough night of sleep that first night. And then you make it to the second night, you make it to the next night, they never come. After that, you get numb to it, you know?
What are the laws in New York for chasing people? Because I know in Milwaukee, oftentimes they don't chase you at a certain speed because they know...
Yeah, I mentioned this previously, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but like I was saying, last year, the NYPD was given the go-ahead to chase harder than they used to. But let's hear if this dude has like the actual intel on it.
It results in civilian deaths a lot of times when the chase happens.
It depends on the cop, honestly. I've seen cops where one of my boys, this dude going off-road in New York, and the cops following him off the road. It just takes that one, you know, that one cop that's just ready to be like, all right, I'm coming for you, and it's over.
What does your mom think about this?
I bring my mom to work and going 150. She didn't get scared. In her eyes, she knows I'm a good driver. Like, she got mother's prayers, of course. She's gonna...
Is brain damage hereditary? Does anyone know? Can brain damage be passed down?
Always pray for me, make sure everything works out every single time, but she's not too stressed.
You created swim, right?
I wouldn't say I created swim, so it started off as a joke between me and Tom, right? Floating, swimming, and then we're like, why does that sound kind of nice?
So I'm here with...
Where's 981? Float.
And I'm Tommy G.
Float has the best name. If you have numbers in your username, it's just an inherently less impressive username. I don't make the rules. It's just how it is.
Allegedly. Who out of this group is the high-speed specialist?
This nigga right here is like nasty on the track. This nigga right here, he's just nasty on the motor. He can slide, drift, go fast.
What's the fastest you guys have ever gone in a car before?
170?
170?
Yeah, 183. 192.
That's life or death speed. What makes it worth it for you to put yourself in that position where you could go to the afterlife if you're not careful?
Rush, man. You're not gonna rush. I'm not driving my car, bro. I just drive it to have fun, bro. If I die, I die. And I'm not living life like I want to die for me. I'm not trying to go outside and die, obviously. I never, like, hopped in a car and went that fast off rip. It's kind of like, I got used to it, slowly, you know, building up, like, a tolerance to speed. Or if you're watching this and you're a driver, then you know what I mean when you feel the rear wheels through the seat of the car.
You're super in tune and in touch. It's almost like the car is an extension of your body.
You have senses from the seat, the steering wheel, the audio cues, how loud the engine is, if your tires are squealing. You have so many cues in it, and it's really up to you to take all that sensory input and be able to, like, drive properly. It's like, we're not trying to do this shit forever. Like, we genuinely want to hop on the track, just go crazy. It's just a track right now. It's expensive, and people are shutting the tracks down.
Do you guys know anyone that has crashed or died or gotten injured doing this?
Crashed for sure, but nobody that's really crashed. No one ever crashed. If anybody were to seriously get hurt or crash or anything like that, I think it'll end it for everybody. I think we don't stop.
There's a risk of hurt.
Do you believe that, commenters? I don't believe that. I don't think they would stop if someone crashed and got hurt. At least not the first guy we listened to. Maybe the swim team boys would stop. Once again, I don't think they would. But the first dude, he certainly would not stop. Also, by the way, remember when I was like, is this a game? This looks so much like a game. It was a game. I think they have like Forza clips or something else in here.
Someone that's completely, someone could be on their way to work, someone could be going to pick up their kid from soccer practice. Like, how does that factor in your driving and what you think about when you drive?
If I get left, I get stuck, don't mean.
What does that mean when you get left?
If I'm following 91 or I'm following float and they think it's cut I can't take, I'm not taking it. When we swim for each other. We drive for each other. We don't drive for ourselves. I know exactly how each one of them drives and how I drive. So God forbid someone has to hard brake, the cars behind are already braking and looking for openings so we're not rear-ending each other.
Have you guys had any near misses?
Of course. But there's this one time where he took a cut. Right after he took the cut, it was either I fit the cut or I'm gone. It's funny saying this, but we're not criminals. Yeah, we're like jobs.
That's not how it works, bro. If you're sitting in the back of a dark car with a hood on, with a mask on, with your face blurred, I think you're a criminal. It's like a pretty high chance you're a criminal. Slightly high chance.
Our cars, we pay for our cars. Like, people think, oh, it's daddy's money. Like, yeah, that should be pissing me off, bro, because I did work hard as for this shit, bro.
Do you guys' moms know about this?
She knows, and she tells me every day to stop. And I tell her, look, I'm trying. We have a brand swim team, right? We're not trying to cut up reckless 24/7, bro. Like, we got a 5M service coming up, a Subtle Courses service coming up, and honestly, like, we see the community, we see the love you guys are giving us, and we're not gonna take this and just, throw it all away. It's like one of those stories we're trying to create where the bad guy kind of wins.
What do you say to the people that are like super pissed when they see what you do? Like, that's reckless, it's selfish, it's dangerous, people could die. What do you say to those type of folks?
Honestly, bro, you're right. I agree with them, bro. I don't even argue with them. I don't argue with them, bro. I don't argue with them either. With people.
At least they're self-aware to some extent. They did just say they're not criminals, then they just said they want to create a story where the bad guy wins, which isn't self-aware, but at least this part is self-aware.
Look at accidents and they see like us cutting up and like racing through traffic and a whole bunch of dumb stuff. They see it as not precise. Like, they're thinking like we're just out there and we're trying to crash. We're not trying to crash. If anything, I would argue that when we're on the road, we're actually paying attention to the road more than anyone else on the road. Or another thing is drinking and driving. And like, we don't ever be under the influence ever behind the wheel. And I'm proud to say that.
Tell me what's going through your head.
Yeah, they make their stupid decisions while completely above the influence.
In the police chase, how do you get away? What are you thinking about? Are you trying to go a few streets then take an exit? You got a hideout? Like, how do you evade police in this type of situation?
Hold on, don't give out too much sauce.
There's people that might watch what you do and wonder how the police have not caught you yet. What is your answer?
I mean, truly, the way that we don't get caught is to stop being dickheads. New York has a no chase policy. I can say this because I've been in like
That's not true anymore.
at least I got into the most count chases. I'm not saying because I like that. I got the worst luck, bro. To be honest, got the worst luck of it.
And this was made like a day ago, so 2 days ago. So this is just not. I don't know why I said that. It is not true. In fact, I'll pull it up for you. So I just pulled this up real quick. We're not letting you walk away. Why the NYPD is allowing more police car chases, and that was August 15, 2023. So there isn't a no chase policy. I'm not sure why he said that, but hey.
Know what the legal perspective was on what Swim Team, Squeeze Benz, and all these other New York drivers were doing. What were the legal ramifications? How much jail time could they face? And why is it that they were so brazen about continually doing this? I talked to my guy Nate the lawyer to figure out more about this. He's a lawyer that runs a YouTube channel and breaks things down regularly. This is what he had to say.
My name is Nate the Lawyer. I'm a former prosecutor and a former law school professor. And what you've just seen on screen is known as reckless driving. In the state of New York, you could serve up to a year in prison if you recklessly drive.
Should be more.
Reckless driving in New York is simple. It's if you drive in a manner that, quote, unreasonably interferes with the
free... Well, like normal reckless driving, maybe a year, but these dudes, repeated offenses, give them 5. Make them like really sit in there and think, do I want to do this again?
Improper use of the public highways or unreasonably endangers users of the public highway. Reckless driving is prohibited. Every person violating this provision shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, meaning you can serve up to a year in jail. If someone is injured or killed during the act of reckless driving, you could find yourself facing some serious charges.
Dangerous and disturbing exclusive video of young people driving their cars recklessly just before one of the cars crashed and killed 2 people.
Now, this driver was
Terrible.
charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. He's facing up to 10 years in prison. If you are doing something that
Only 10. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine only 10 years for taking someone's life?
you know is inherently dangerous and could get someone killed or hurt, and then you do it anyway, that the law finds to be reckless and criminal in some cases. Driving a car 90 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone is reckless. Someone could get hurt, someone could get killed, and if someone does, then you are on the hook for that homicide. There may be no fear of repercussions because of New York's bail reform laws. The misdemeanor of reckless driving, as you see on the screen, isn't eligible for bail. If someone commits this crime 10 times in the same day, they'll get bail every time because of
Isn't that insane?
New York's bail reform laws. Now, some of you may not believe how insane New York's bail reform
Oh no, I unfortunately believe it.
laws are, but they are insane. Like this guy who was arrested 101 times for shoplifting and let go every time because of New York's bail reform laws.
Why stop? Why stop if you can just walk out, right?
Or this guy who was arrested for 3 assaults in one day, even threw a brick through a store window. He was released every single time on bail reform.
Now imagine like calling the cops on someone because they assaulted you and then being scared because they can just get out and assault you again. Isn't that terrifying?
Or the story of these 4 people who chopped up 2 bodies, left body parts all around the state of New York, and then when the cops went to their home, they found blood, body parts, guts, everything in their home. Guess what the judge did? He released them without bail. When you put everything together, I think these guys are doing it because they don't really have any fear that they're going to kill anybody. And if they get caught reckless driving, they'll get arrested and charged, but they'll probably be let out the same day on.
Yeah, if you truly think you are just beyond skilled, the greatest driver of all time, like the first guy thought he was, it makes sense that he has no fear because he doesn't think he's going to crash, so he's not going to hurt himself. He doesn't think he's going to crash, so he's not going to hurt someone else. And if the off chance the cops are fast enough or skilled enough to catch him, he's out.
Bail reform, then we can go out and do it again. If you need legal advice, if you're looking to this YouTube video to help you in your case, you're looking at the wrong place. With that being said, I'm Nate the Lawyer and I'm out. Peace.
After hearing what Nate the Lawyer said, hearing that there's no consequences really for what these guys are doing, it makes sense why they're doing it. Back to the swim team.
How often do you guys get nervous doing this?
So when I started, I used to get super nervous, especially when I used to run. And the reason I started running is not because I don't like cops. It's simply because it got to a point where I couldn't afford the tickets anymore. Because I was getting singled out for no reason. The speed limit is 50, right? So I would be on the Bell Parkway and I'm going 70, 75. I'm doing the same speed everyone else is doing. However, when the state trooper sees everyone else and me, they single me out because I'm in a white Porsche. So then they think I can afford the ticket, but in the beginning I could, but then that shit started stacking up. And if you're gonna say, oh, then just
Honestly though, hear me out, like based cops targeting the rich dude.
Speed, I wasn't speeding. I was just keeping up with the flow of traffic, right? And then I just started running one day because I just couldn't afford the tickets anymore. And then it just started from there. I was super nervous at first. You gotta count lawyer fees too. After the first time, I only got nervous one more time after that. And that was only because I got kicked out of the hotel.
How many people were after you? 15 cars? Do you guys had to get away from helicopters before?
I never had to. Thanks God. Honestly, but I feel like I don't do that situation.
Damn, maybe the first dude really is him. Squeeze Benz. He's like, yeah, bro, you know, a guy gets chased by helicopters every month. Maybe twice a month. You know the vibes.
Has the news reached out to any of you guys?
Oh, yeah, of course. Bro, I ain't going front. This is crazy. I'm like 87. I'm like 87 News at all. Because they reached out to me about my content and they still posted after I said no. I don't like that. But yeah, this man was article about us already.
So news reporters have reached out to you guys. They DM you, they text you, they email you.
Famous birthdays hit me up.
Okay, so Ali Bauman from CBS New York.
Yeah, she did me twice. I was like, no. I just never responded.
What made you say no to her and yes to me?
Honestly, bro, you're not a cop. Yeah, you're not a cop. You're not associated with the
Tommy is very cool.
law. You don't have an ulterior motive. I genuinely feel like you're not gonna try to paint a bad picture with it. And we've seen your videos, we've seen the work you do, and the type of, honestly, you've interviewed people that do worse stuff than us. Yeah, so it's like, come on now, if you were keeping them safe, there's no reason why you wouldn't keep us safe, bro.
To me, it feels really fun to have no journalistic background to be beating them at their own game.
Yeah, definitely. Bro, honestly, bro, when you're an authentic person, you go far in life.
I feel like people in our generation just don't trust the news. They've lied so many times that their credit's gone with us.
No, yeah, definitely. Honestly, bro, I've been getting more accurate shit from TikTok.
Pull over, take the tracker out the whip. Range Rover Sport, I'm on the Jackie doing tricks. Keep swimming, got the paddles in the ship.
Let's meet the swim team and let's hear their specialties.
Alrighty.
Swim team, you already know.
And what's your specialty?
My specialty is floating. All I do is float. That's my name. That's what I do. It's everything.
Do you feel like you have to look over your
Every
shoulder?
time they say float, I just think of It the Clown. Truly.
They're doing this
Wait, which is fitting. I did call them clowns in the beginning.
stuff.
I always look over my shoulder. I'm always 91. I would say I'm kind of camera shy, but like my specialty is like I do a little bit of everything. But when it comes to like the you know, the corporate side of things, you know, the brand and stuff, like I'm basically like the brains behind that whole.
Wait, so you're trying to turn this into a video game?
I mean, we already kind of did.
Okay,
It's
that's what the video game scenes were. All right. I was like losing my mind in the beginning. I'm like, this isn't real life, right? This doesn't look quite correct.
Assetto Corsa. So basically, we host servers, and you just gotta take the link, hop on the server, and if any one of us happens to play on the server, you get to drive with Swim risk-free.
Whereas 981 and his team are well aware that a lot of his fans are young males that might try and replicate what they do, and knowing that that is incredibly dangerous, his team has done something so you can join them in the safety of your home. They built this online Assetto Corsa server so you can drive, swerve, drift, whatever you want. All you need is a computer, internet connection, and it's recommended you have a steering wheel. Details to join the server are in my description.
Do you think you're wanted by law enforcement?
They definitely know about us. I mean, me specifically, I have no clue. If I am wanted, I'm sorry.
I love the difference in ego. The first guy, I'm the most wanted man in New York. This guy, we might be wanted. They know who I am. I don't know if they want me.
I hate NYPD, I just don't want the ticket.
What do you go
Honestly, we knew he was a decent dude when we saw the cat with the croc on his head.
Brick 250 or Brick 50, either one is fine.
And what's your specialty?
Well, right now, I think the fans would probably say my specialty is probably police chases, cop chases, and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I think drifting though.
How many police chases do you think you've been in?
Honestly, bro, I lost count probably because I posted at least 30, I think. So I think I have.
You have at least 30 police chases on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Why is this worth potentially going to prison?
No matter how you look at it, it's not worth it at all. Me being how I am as a person, bro, it's fun, bro.
Who are you?
So I'm Reaper.
What's your specialty?
I'm more of a low-key swimmer. I'm not really making videos and stuff, but you know, if you know, you know.
Do you have any little brothers?
Oh yeah.
If they wanted to get into this, what would you tell them?
I'm a hypocrite, but I wouldn't recommend it. But
you don't recommend it?
No.
This is a question for the whole group. How often do you guys have to change vehicles?
I say if you do it right, you could probably go a year to 2 years where you have to swap the car.
All right, yeah, these guys seem like they're less egregious than the first dude. Like the first dude seemed insane. He has like a bunch of garages or long-term rentals. These dudes are keeping cars for 1 to 2 years, which makes me think they are less criminal-minded in a way. They're moving into this just being like a brand, you know, come drive with us on our video game. We're not getting chased by the helicopters every other day. So they do seem less intense. So when Squeeze Ben said that swim team or Where's 981 fell off, maybe he was right. Maybe they did. With that said, I think these guys will end up making more money in the end out of this. So they're the real winners. Yeah.
Smart, but you can do some dumb shit in one night that makes you have to swap.
What do you go by?
My name's Billy.
And what's your specialty?
Honestly, the fans kind of know me as less.
Do you think you just invented a random name just for this?
I guess I would say that's if you get in trouble, you can call me. I'll help you with your situation.
So what makes this worth doing?
It's not worth doing. I wouldn't recommend doing it if I were you, but I can't make your decision for you. So if you are going to do this against our best wishes, I guess, just think about other people on the road and do whatever you can to bring it home without hurting yourself, hurting anybody else.
I'm still caught up on him calling himself Lester. For those who don't know, Lester is the hacker nerd dude from GTA 5. I'm trying to think, what would this guy be doing if you're getting chased by the cops? What could he do for you? Map out a route for you to get away, maybe?
else or damaging any property.
Tell me how you think about taking on risks and danger.
I think if you're ever going to take on any risks or any danger, whether it's physical risks or financial risks, I think you should write down every single one of the variables that could be a factor in the risk that you're taking, and you should figure out what's the worst case scenario that could go wrong, any other kind of scenarios that could go wrong, and you want to figure out what the best case scenario is, and if that's worth the gamble for you, for the risks that are laid out on the table. But if those risks are worth the reward that you're going for, I think you should go for it.
Honestly, like, that's just good life advice.
And if at any time you get too scared, the risks are too much for the reward, you don't want to risk it for the biscuit, then stop, because you're not built for it.
If you want an extraordinary life, you have to take extraordinary measures and risks and action, but know your lane and know when to sit out. And this is something I'm sitting out for.
Also, the story of Icarus, when you have black wings and you fly too close to the sun, never feel like you got it on lock 24/7.
The story of Icarus
The other dude that acts like he has it unlocked 24/7.
from Greek mythology, and it recounts the tale of Daedalus and his son Icarus, who were imprisoned on the island of Crete by King Minos. To escape, Daedalus fashioned wings made of feathers and wax for him and Icarus.
Did Tommy get this animated, or is this pulled from somewhere? Like, that's crazy if he actually got this animated just for the video.
Warned by his father not to fly too close to the sun, Icarus disregarded this advice. As he soared higher and higher, the wax melted, causing his wings to fail, and he plummeted into the sea and drowned. This story serves as a cautionary tale warning against the dangers.
Hey, that's kind of close to my initial swim team joke. Fly too close to the sun, drive too close to the guardrail, and you shall swim too. But they don't seem too bad. Squeeze Benz is the one who actually seems terrible.
Confidence and recklessness. And this story, I think, is very relevant to Mr. Squeeze Benz.
Oh, there you go.
Also, Stolen couldn't make it, but he wanted to say what's up to y'all, feel me?
Anything you gotta say for the camera, brother?
Shout out my son Jolly too, he couldn't make it. Yeah, so you asked us these questions. What do you think of swimming?
So here's the thing, I think danger is good in somebody's life, but when you endanger someone else while you're having your own fun, that's where I'm iffy about it. Yeah. I admire the courage, I admire the bravery, but when other people's lives are at risk, to me it's like it's a hard battle, you know what I mean? Like, if I lost a friend because someone was just having fun on the road, I'd want to kill that guy. I also, as a young man who does dangerous things too, get it. But I highly advise you, don't try it out.
We met these guys here to do B-roll of their cool cars. But while waiting their turn, a couple of them decided to do donuts in a parking lot where there were many families.
Oh yeah, and then supposedly they get chased by the helicopter, right?
The police were called, and in a few minutes, an NYPD helicopter arrived on the scene. This is what happened next.
Well, we got a dip in a second. You seen that, right? Yeah.
Hello folks, I'm Tommy G, here with the most wanted drivers in New York, looking to feeling out. Folks, I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted. Well folks, take the time to get out of here. Stay safe. Realize that the choices you make can impact other people. There's dangerous things you can do that just impact yourself. When it impacts scared civilians, we should probably get out of here. Let's go. I'm conflicted with this video, folks, because a lot of young people are going to think this is cool, and their brain is not developed enough to realize the risk to other people. And I feel like you got to pick and choose your battles. And like, while it is exciting, statistically, eventually, someone is going to crash, someone's going to die, someone's going to get paralyzed, and the game that sounded so fun is not so fun anymore.
Yeah, great video. Tommy's great. Still love him. Squeeze Benz, I highly dislike him. The other dudes, the swim team, I know I memed on them in the beginning. Now, while I don't like them and I don't approve of what they're doing, they seem to be more level-headed about it all. But yeah, that was a good video. Don't speed, kids. Use your brain, even if it is underdeveloped. I hope they get caught one day. But until next time, this is Noggin. I'll see you then.